What's going on, Dolphins? It is your boy Dillon, and normally I would have my post-game analysis video for you, being that it's Monday. Obviously we didn't play yesterday. We had already played Thursday, so that's all said and done, but there were a number of games yesterday, and obviously we are still in the middle of the season, so I'm going to continue to do my quick hit scouting report videos. This one is going to be for the New England Patriots, who we play in Week 18 in Hard Rock Stadium to round out the season. And depending on how things shape up between now and then, there is some probability that it ends up being for, potentially the final wild card spot. Now, the Dolphins have to do a lot before that happens. They have to do a lot of winning before they get to that point. And if I'm being honest with you guys, I'm not so sure that's going to happen, because at this point, I mean, even if we lose a single game the rest of the way, we're probably not making it to the playoffs. And at that point, our best potential record is 9-8, and it is what it is at that point. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into this game. There were a bunch of games yesterday that had some pretty interesting outcomes. We will talk about at least a couple of them in my scouting report videos over the week. I will be spreading them out over the week, but this is one of them. The New England Patriots, who are now 6-4 on the season, dropping the Cleveland Browns to 5-5. They kicked the ever-living shit out of the Browns, 45-7, as you can see here. Now, as you guys know, I had two predictions that I came out with. I had my original prediction, which came before training camp and all of that stuff, and it was 6-11. Then I had my revised prediction, which came right before the Week 1 matchup against the Patriots, and I had put it to 9-8 because they showed some promise and some, reasons to be optimistic in training camp and preseason, right? So those were my two predictions, and originally but when you look at either one, right, because there were a couple games obviously that I changed in the revised prediction, but either one of those predictions, I had us splitting with the Patriots. So I originally had us, though, losing to them in Week 1 and winning in Week 18. Now, that could be potentially different. Like, it could be flipped, in other words. The Patriots, we'll talk about a little bit more as we get through this, but they are looking pretty damn good. Not only are they 6-4 and have a solid record, not only are they beating a team like the Cleveland Browns 45-0, but when we get to the league standings, you'll see they're actually rounding out to be one of the better teams in the league. All right, so let's actually get through this, though. The Patriots had 452 total yards. They allowed only 217. They had 268 through the air, allowing 118. They had 184 on the ground, allowing 99. I mean, they dominated across the board. This game was fucking nasty. 7.3 yards per play to the 3.7 for the Browns. Neither team lost a fumble. Cleveland did throw an interception, so New England did get one interception. New England did let up 2 sacks, but they did have 5 of their own. They were 77% on third down and only allowed 9. I mean, that's outrageous. They dominate completely. I mean, across the board, it doesn't matter where you look. They dominated in this game. They had the ball for 34 minutes, 2 seconds to the 25-58 of the Browns, and both teams had 6 penalties. Okay? Now let's take a look more. And look, I gotta say, I've been saying it, man. Mac Jones looks fucking good in the system that he's in and in that already established organization of the New England Patriots. They've given the kid a really good defense, an offensive line, and a suitable run game. And look at what he's able to do. I think Tua is the better quarterback overall, and I think he's got a higher ceiling. But look at what happens when you fucking prepare the dude and you actually build around him properly. It shouldn't be a surprise to people. Anyway, so they were kicking their ass so bad that they ended up bringing in Brian Hoyer. But before Jones came out, he went 19 for 23, 198 yards and 3 touchdowns. Brian Hoyer was 3 of 3 for 85 and a score. Rushing, Ramondre Stevenson led the way, 20 rushes, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns and a 5 average. Kendrick Bourne, 3 for 43 and a 14.3. Brandon Bolden, 3 for 32 and a 10.7. Obviously just smoking them on the ground game. J.J. Taylor, 6 for 11 and a 1.8. Receiving, Kendrick Bourne led the way, 4-4, 98 and a touchdown. Jacoby Myers, 4-4, 49 and a touchdown. Brandon Bolden, 3 of 3, 38. Hunter Henry, 4-4, 37 and 2 scores. N'Keal Harry, 1 for 26. And Nelson Aguilar, 2 of 4 for 21. Ramondre Stevenson, 4 of 5 for 14. So, obviously, the Patriots just absolutely annihilated the Browns. And the Browns, at this point, are a good team, right? Yes, it did, their tank didn't work because they weren't able to turn their franchise around in 2 to 3 years after tanking. It took them about 7, but they are actually finally a good team, and the Patriots just destroyed them. Anyway, I'll get back to that in a second. They allowed Case Keenum to throw 8 of 12 for 81 yards, and Baker, that's obviously after Baker left because Baker got injured, 11 of 21 for 73, a touchdown and interception. Completely shut him down. Rushing, Ernest Johnson, 19 carries and 99 yards for a 5-2. So, Johnson got all 99 of their yards, almost to 100, so that's not bad. But obviously they got completely fucking destroyed in this game. Ernest Johnson also led the way in receiving, 7 of 8 for 58. Jarvis Landry, 4 of 5, 26. Austin Hooper, 4 of 5, 25 and a score. Harrison Bryant, 2 of 2 for 18. Donovan Peoples-Jones, 1 of 5 for 16. And David Njoku, 1 of 4 for 11. I've seen that there's a whole controversy over, is Baker Mayfield the guy, blah, 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 whatever. I don't really care to talk about that, and we don't care about the Browns, obviously. So, but back to the Patriots. I mean, look, the Patriots, and I said this early on, dude, I think the Patriots, I said at the beginning of the season, I actually thought the Patriots could turn out to be a pretty damn good team this year. Now, they're exceeding my expectations a little bit, and I thought they would have been more of a run-based team than a pass-based team, but I did actually expect them to be pretty good this year and potentially push for a wild card, position, but they're going to be scary in Week 18. They're going to be scary in Week 18, and I didn't expect it to go this smoothly for them. And look, so, I just, obviously prior to these games getting played or whatever, earlier in the week, I had recently just made my Week 9 scouting report video for the Patriots. This is obviously Week 10. They got better in almost every category across the board. There was one, I think it's run defense, where they stayed the same, and then I think a couple of the turnovers, they dropped a couple spots, like 1 or 2 spots here and there. But other than that, bro, they went up. Like, they're turning out to be one of the better teams. And same thing with the Jets, dude. Like, I said that I felt like they could be sneaky good, potentially winning 5 to 7 games. And will they get there? I don't know. Maybe not. But I think that they've already proven to be a little bit better than what people think, having gotten their 2 wins over, pretty good fucking teams. And I think that there are still some, I think they have to play the Texans and the Jags too at some point. So they are likely to get a couple more wins somewhere in there. And they could get to that 5. Anyway, point is, man, is our rivals in this division are way ahead of us. The Bills obviously are way ahead of us because they're, potential favorites to go to the Super Bowl. They're going to win the division, likely. Well, the Patriots are technically, a half a game behind them. So they're actually looking really good. But it looks like either way, both of those teams are going to make it to the playoffs, whether it be winning the division or going in as a wild card. And then you have the Jets, who are in year one of a rebuild with a rookie quarterback and a rookie head coach, and they already seem to be further along than we are. So, it is what it is. This is what we deal with. But who knows? I mean, listen, we're still on the Ravens week, getting to enjoy it. I, as a content creator, have to be a little bit more in business mode and now start talking about these other teams with these videos or whatever. But, as a fan, I'm still currently enjoying the Ravens win. Let's see what happens against the Jets in, the MetLife takeover. Let's see if we're actually, able to go up there and continue where we left off from this last game, hopefully improve on offense, and maybe we can come away with this W. I am going to predict a win, a little bit of a spoiler here in my preview video, but I don't think this game is going to be as easy as people think, especially if our offense, isn't able to come to life. And if for some reason our defense, doesn't play up to its fullest potential like it did this last game, right? Because they haven't for most of the season so far. And, there's no guarantee that they will play at that level every single game for the rest of the season. Hopefully they do, but let's see what happens. Anyway, back to this, because I do want to wrap this up. So, total yards, the Patriots now currently have 3,562, which has them at 10th. And per game average, they're currently 15th with 356.2 per game. They're now 8th in the league in total passing with 2,567. But they're 14th in per game average. Still good though, obviously, right? 256.7 per game. They're now 10th in total rushing, 1,145. 15th in per game average, 114.5. They're now 6th in total points with 275. 7th in points per game with 27.5. And I don't know why I didn't have third down offense on this list, but I added it. And so the Patriots are currently 4th in the league. Their offense is currently 4th in the league with 46.9% completion percentage on third down. So their offense obviously is pretty dangerous, and it's a lot better than ours is. And one of the big reasons why I think it's going to be tough to beat this team going down the stretch in week 18. But then you look at their defense, and their fucking defense is great too. So, when I think about it, if our defense is able to play up to the level it did against the Ravens, then I think that, the product we put on the field will certainly match their defense and the product that they put on the field. I'm just not sure our offense is going to be able to keep up with their offense, unfortunately. I think that they're likely to score more points, and I feel that way about New Orleans and Tennessee as well, unfortunately. And that's why I'm not so ready to say that we're going to be able to just run the table and, get to 10-7. I think it's going to be a bit harder than that. I hope. Look, there's a difference between what I hope and what I want and what I think is actually going to happen. And that's why people tend to call me a hater, which is ridiculous to me, because it's not like I don't want us to win. I absolutely do, and I hope that we do. But the problem is that's not what I see to be realistic, and people just hate the fact that I say the truth and I'm honest with people, and, it sucks. So now, again, I hope they surprise me. They certainly surprised me in the Ravens game, but and the next 4 games, even the Panthers game at this point is not looking as, which we'll get to, later. The Panthers, they had a really good game against a really good team too. So look, I want to hopefully temper Dolphins fans a little bit from getting, way over the top and saying that we're going to run the table and make it to the playoffs. If we lose even one more game, we're almost guaranteed to not make it to the playoffs. And I'm pretty sure we're going to at least lose one more game, unfortunately. As much as it hurts to say as a fan, that's just what I think to be realistic. Anyway, defensively, like I said, they're also really good. They're giving up 328 total yards per game, which is currently 6th in the NFL. Passing yards, it's 236.8, which is 8th. Rushing yards, it's 107.9, which is 14th. Points per game, they're giving up 17.7, which is second in the NFL. Takeaways, they have 17, which is fifth or tied with fourth, or after tied, or fourth after ties, Jesus Christ. Interceptions, they have 14 on the season, which is third or tied for second. Fumbles, they have 3, which is 24th or 6th after ties. Sacks, they have 24, which is 10th or 6th after ties. Passes defense, they have 51, which is currently third in the league. 2 behind us, 2 spots behind us. I think we have 58, if I'm not mistaken. And third down percentage, they're currently 10th in the league with 36.9% defensively. So this team is going to be tough, man. It is going to be a rough sell at the end of the season. And unfortunately, as of right now, I think this is likely to be one of those losses that we have to face at some point. As much, like I said, as a fan, as much as it hurts me as a fan, I just unfortunately find that to be the reality as of right now. Anyway, so this is the Dolphins' current offensive and defensive league standings. Sorry for making this video a little bit long. I added a little bit of, because, you know, again, I want people to take it week by week. We're lined up for a decent run where we might be able to, you know, knock off some wins, and Tua is expected to start versus the Jets. So, you know, look, man, and a couple weeks ago, I was saying one of the things that we have to look forward to, especially if Tua plays, is, you know, potentially competitive games and maybe some victories, right? And so we're definitely in that part of the schedule. 2 games against the Jets. We have the Giants, although I think the Giants just had a win too, if I'm not mistaken, and then the Panthers. So there are going to be some opportunities for wins, but I just want Dolphins fans to not get too out of control, and let's just take it one week at a time. Let's not go, because then you set yourself up for a personal disappointment. And if we then don't make it 10-7, have this miraculous turnaround, which it would be miraculous, and I would love to see it. But I think that the Baltimore win is likely to prove to be our Miami miracle of the season. You know, I don't think we're going to be able to pull off the big miracle of run the table 10-7 and make it to the playoffs. I'd love to see it, but we just need to take it one week at a time. And every week that we get a win, our hope can grow. Why? Because the probability of it happening becomes that much greater. So let's just follow the facts. Let's let our emotions follow the facts. And with every win that we get, hopefully starting with the Jets this weekend, our hope for that to become a reality can grow. But if we can beat the Jets, the Panthers, the Giants, and then the Jets again and get to 7-7 for that deadly stretch of New Orleans, Tennessee, and New England, you know, then, you know, let's start having a conversation then. And then if we beat New Orleans, look, 1 week at a time. Let's just take it 1 week at a time. All right. Sorry for the extra chit chat in this video. It's not about me trying to be negative. I just want Dolphins fans to not set themselves up for a personal disappointment. Let's hope. Let's pray, whatever you do, right? And let's enjoy watching our team. And I definitely think for the next few weeks, we got some winnable games. So let's enjoy it. Let's continue to enjoy the Ravens win until we have to play the Jets. And then let's play the Jets and see where we go from there. All right, make sure, before I get out of here, you check out the Rave On Sports App, the all-new fan-driven sports app for all of your major sports, whether it be baseball, basketball, whatever. And they're looking to enhance your game day experience with live play-by-play coverage, live chats with other fans and content creators like myself. Look for the links in the description box. And with that, I'm going to get out of here. I hope you guys appreciate my perspective. If you do, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the like button, the bell if you want to get the alerts. Share my channel and videos with your friends and family. Leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comments section. Of course, as always, follow me on Twitter at DillonTartaro. And with that, I am out. I'll see y'all soon. Fins up.